Hope you're all doing great. Let us learn more about Queen Elizabeth II in this session. Parents of Queen Elizabeth II. Elizabeth was born on 21 April 1926 during the reign of her paternal grandfather King George V. Father Prince Albert, Duke of York, later King George VI, was the second son of the king. Her mother, Elizabeth, Duchess of York, was the youngest daughter of Scottish aristocrat Claude Bois-Lyon. Queen Elizabeth II. Her full name was Elizabeth Alexandra Mary Windsor. He is Elizabeth's father, Prince Albert. She is Elizabeth's mother, Lady Elizabeth Bois-Lyon. Queen Victoria, Elizabeth's British ancestors. Elizabeth's British ancestors, King George III. Elizabeth was named after her mother, Alexandra after her paternal great-grandmother, and Mary after her paternal grandmother. She was called Lilibet by her close family based on what she called herself at first. She was cherished by her grandfather, George V, whom she affectionately called Grandpa England. Elizabeth's only sibling, Princess Margaret. The two princes were educated at home under the supervision of their mother and their governess. Lessons concentrated on history, language, literature, and music. Crawford published a biography of Elizabeth and Margaret's childhood years entitled The Little Princesses in 1950, much to the dismay of the royal family. The book describes Elizabeth's love for horses and dogs, her orderliness, and her attitude of responsibility. Winston Churchill described Elizabeth when she was 2 as a character. She has an air of authority and reflectiveness astonishing in an infant. Her cousin Margaret Rhodes described her as a jolly little girl, but fundamentally sensible and well-behaved. Elizabeth's sibling, Princess Margaret. During her grandfather's reign, Elizabeth was third in the line of succession to the British throne behind her uncle Edward and her father. Although her birth generated public interest, she was not expected to become a queen, as Edward was still young and likely to marry and have children of his own, who would precede Elizabeth in the line of succession. When her grandfather died in 1936 and her uncle succeeded as Edward VIII, she became second in the line to the throne after her father. Later that year, Edward abdicated after his proposed marriage to divorced socialite Wallis Simpson provoked a constitutional crisis. Consequently, Elizabeth's father became king, taking the regnal name George VI. Since Elizabeth had no brothers, she became heir presumptive. If her parents had subsequently born a son, he would have been heir apparent and above her in the line of succession, which was determined by male preference, primogeniture at the time. In September 1939, Britain entered the Second World War. In 1940, the 14-year-old Elizabeth made her first radio broadcast during the BBC's Children's Hour, addressing other children who had been evacuated from the cities. She stated, "We are trying to do all we can to help our gallant sailors, soldiers, and airmen. We are trying, too, to bear our own share of the danger and sadness of war. We know, every one of us, that is in the end all will be well." In 1943, Elizabeth undertook her first solo public appearance on a visit to Grenadier Guards. Approaching her 18th birthday, she could act as one of the 5 councillors of the state. In February 1945, she was appointed an honorary second subaltern in the Auxiliary Territorial Service. She trained as a driver and mechanic and was given the rank of honorary junior commander, female equivalent of captain at that time. Princess Elizabeth went on her first overseas tour in 1947, accompanying her parents through southern Africa. During the tour, in a broadcast to the British Commonwealth on her 21st birthday, she made the following pledge: "I declare before you all that my whole life, whether it be long or short, shall be devoted to your service and the service of our great imperial family to which we all belong." Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh. In 1947, Elizabeth met her future husband, Prince Philip of Greece and Denmark, in 1934 and again in 1937. After meeting for the 3rd time at the Royal Naval College in Dartmouth in July 1939, Elizabeth, though only 13 years old, said she fell in love with Philip and they began to exchange letters. She was 21 when their engagement was officially announced on 9 July 1947. Shortly before the wedding, Prince Philip was created Duke of Edinburgh and granted the style His Royal Highness. Elizabeth and Philip were married on 20 November 1947 at Westminster Abbey. Elizabeth's father was crowned King George VI in 1937, taking on the name George to emphasize continuity with his father. Her mother became Queen Elizabeth on King George's death in 1952. She became Queen Mother, and her daughter became Queen Elizabeth II. Queen Elizabeth II coronation. Elizabeth was crowned Queen Elizabeth II on June 2, 1953 in Westminster Abbey at the age of 25. Elizabeth assumed the responsibilities of the ruling monarch on February 6, 1952, when her father King George VI died. For the first time ever, the coronation ceremony was broadcast on television, allowing people from across the globe to witness the pomp and spectacle of the event. Elizabeth married her distant cousin Philip Mountbatten on November 20, 1947 at London Westminster Abbey. Elizabeth was quiet and reserved, while Philip was boisterous and outspoken. Her father, King George VI, was hesitant about the match because while Mountbatten had ties to both the Danish and Greek royal families, he didn't possess great wealth and was considered by some to have a rough personality. At the time of their wedding, Great Britain was still recovering from the ravages of World War II. The family took on the name Windsor, a move pushed by her mother and Prime Minister Winston Churchill, which caused tension with her husband. In 1960, she reversed course, issuing orders that her descendants who did not carry royal titles would use the surname Mountbatten-Windsor. Over the years, Philip inspired numerous public relations headaches with his off-the-cuff, controversial comments and rumors of possible infidelities. Philip died on April 9, 2021 at the age of 99. Queen Elizabeth II eldest son, Prince Charles, Princess Anne, Prince Andrew, Prince Edward. Elizabeth gave birth to her first child, Prince Charles, on 14 November 1948. Second child, Princess Anne, was born on 15 August 1950. Elizabeth had 2 more children, son Andrew and Edward, in 1960 and 64 respectively. In 1969, she officially made Charles her successor by granting him the title of Prince of Wales. In 1981, Charles wed Diana Spencer, best known as Princess Diana. Charles and Diana gave birth to Elizabeth's grandsons, Prince William, who was created Duke of Cambridge upon his own marriage in 2011, second in line to the throne in 1982, and Prince Harry in 1984. Elizabeth has emerged as a devoted grandmother to William and Harry. Prince William has said that she offered invaluable support and guidance as he and Kate Middleton planned their 2011 wedding. On July 22, 2013, Elizabeth's grandson William and his wife Catherine, the Duchess of Cambridge, welcomed their first child, George Alexander Louis, a successor to the throne known officially as His Royal Highness Prince George of Cambridge. On May 2, 2015, William and Kate welcomed their second child, Princess Charlotte Elizabeth Diana, the Queen's fifth great-grandchild. On April 23, 2018, they followed with their third child, Prince Louis Arthur Charles. On May 6, 2019, Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, and his wife, Meghan Markle, gave the Queen another great-grandchild with the birth of their son, Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor. In addition to Prince William and Prince Harry, the Queen's other grandchildren are Peter Phillips, Princess Beatrice of York, Princess Eugenie of York, Zara Tyndall, Lady Louise Windsor, and James, Viscount Severn. She was also a great-grandmother to 10. Elizabeth II. Alexandra Mary Windsor. She was Queen of the United Kingdom and other Commonwealth realms from 6 February 1952 until her death in 2022. She was the Queen Regnant of 32 sovereign states during her life and served as monarch of 15 of them at the time of her death. Her reign of 70 years and 214 days is the longest of any British monarch and the longest recorded of any female head of the state in history. Elizabeth had 15 prime ministers placed into power during her reign. After the start of the 21st century, Elizabeth experienced two great losses. She said goodbye to both her sister Margaret and her mother in 2002. The same year, she celebrated her Golden Jubilee, or 50th year on the throne. Margaret, known for being more of an adventurous soul than other royals, died in February after suffering a stroke. Only a few weeks later, Elizabeth's mother, known as the Queen Mother, died at Royal Lodge on March 30th at the age of 101. Elizabeth celebrated her Diamond Jubilee in 2012, marking 60 years as Queen. On September 9, 2015, she surpassed her great-great-grandmother Queen Victoria as Britain's longest ruling monarch, who reigned for 63 years. On February 6, 2017, the Queen celebrated 65 years on the throne, the only British monarch to ever celebrate her sapphire jubilee. In 2022, the nation celebrated Elizabeth's Platinum Jubilee year. She was the first British monarch to reach that milestone, which marks 70 years on the throne. Elizabeth died peacefully at her Balmoral estate on September 8, 2022. She was 96 years old. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for our latest updates.